Yet out of darkness of dragons, out of our cries for light in the blank face of the black moon soaring, a banked light flared in Solamnia, a night of truth and of power, who called down the gods themselves and forged the mighty Dragonlance, piercing the soul of dragonkind, driving the shade of their wings from the brightened shores of Krynn. We pick up with our companions to start off Chapter 4, hiding out in Tika Whalen's house, as Tanis asks Raistlin what he thinks about Goldmoon, and Raistlin replies, if she's a charlatan, she's a good one. Now Riverwind overhears and gets angry, and he says something, and then Caramon, who's Raistlin's twin, growls. Now Goldmoon calms down Riverwind. Raistlin asks to examine the staff. A blue light flashes and Raistlin gets a jolt. He then has his brother hold it to prove his point, and when Caramon takes it and has no trouble, Raistlin declares that the staff can only be held by those good and pure of heart. That's beautiful. Tasslehoff interrupts to let them know that the Theocrat's guards were approaching, and now two goblins are outside the front door that's slightly ajar. They decide that, nobody's home, but we're going to go in and rob the place. As they come in, Caramon bangs their two heads together. They die instantly. We have Tanis asking Goldmoon where they're going. They say they're going to head to Haven to seek out some wise men who can explain what the heck the staff is. This has the companions basically trashing Tika Whalen's house, so it looks like it was broken into and the guards were killed, stopping whoever it was. This way, hopefully Tika won't get any headache over what went on. They all decide to head north and agree Tanis is the leader. Goldmoon thanks Tanis for helping them even though they are strangers, to which Tanis introduces everyone and says, we're no longer strangers. Chapter 4 ends with Tanis thinking about how he was so hopeful for this homecoming and how it all turned to shit. Instead of him laying in a bed with Kittiera, he's out now with the companions in the middle of this. Chapter 5 has them making their way north. Tass suggests Crystalmere Lake and a boat crossing. We get more description of the group as they talk about how Riverwind doesn't seem to trust them. We learn that Sturm is a knight, and in the order that has been on the decline for about 300 years. And even though he is only 29 and 4 years older than Caramon, he looks about 15 years older, so he's having some rough years there, Sturm. We learn that Flint has a fear of boats. That reminds me of We'll Hit the Wayback Machine. It reminds me of the A-Team and B.A. Baracus and his trouble with flying. Sturm asks how are they going to get a boat, and Tanis tells him he doesn't want to know. And Sturm muses that murder and now thievery, this is definitely doing some damage to his honor. They hear shouts in the distance, signaling that the guard has found the bodies of their co-workers back at Tika's house. So Flint and Tanis argue about the boat, with Tanis telling Flint that accident happened 10 years ago, and come on, I'll make Caramon sit down this time. Subtly letting us know that this main group has known each other for a long time. Of course, time being more relevant for humans with that 10 years ago comment than for elves. Flint says no way to the boat, saying he took a vow never to go on a boat again. Now, Tass is waiting in the boat as they get to the lake, and Tanis chucks a rock near it to signal Tasslehoff that they're there. Flint does some more pissing and moaning, and everyone loads in as Tanis tries to convince Flint, as Flint heads back for the woods. Riverwind doesn't want to go either. Sturm asks Goldmoon why. She says that Riverwind doesn't like humans or kinders, and she tells more about her and Riverwind's past, how she was a princess who fell in love with a shepherd boy. They get in finally. As the goblins get closer, they're all waiting on Tass and Flint. All right, so then, Tanis approaches by himself as the others discuss possibly knocking Flint out and dragging his 146-year-old ass onto the boat. Sturm says that Flint saved him more than once. Finally, as they push off, Flint comes running up as cooler heads prevail. Goblins break through the tree line. Tanis, with his dark vision, starts picking off goblins with his bow, and Flint jumps in the water, missing the boat, and Caramon starts plunging his hands into the water, searching for a slowly drowning Flint. Flint's in a panic since he thought he was drowning, and as arrows strike Cameron's armor, A few more back and forth with arrows, and finally Raistlin stands up amidst all the shouting and arrows and does a sleep spell. All the remaining goblins on shore go down. Now, as Tanis removes goblin arrows from the boat, mostly because they are known for occasional poison-covered tips, Goldmoon gasps as she looks at the stars. They all look up, then to see that the 2 constellations are missing. Raistlin explains that it is the constellation the Dark Queen and the Valiant Warrior, and that she has come down to Krynn, and he has followed to slay her. Now, a few say, that's just lights up in the sky, but to put it in perspective, that would be the equivalent of us going out into the fall night and looking up and the Hunter constellation being gone. No Orion's belt, nothing, just a blank spot. Now, before I get distracted by a shiny thing with the stars and constellations, because that's a whole different video, back to our story. Sturm rows on, and we start off chapter 6 with them going ashore as a storm rolls in. They get the boat to shore, and Caramon carries in Raistlin, who is wiped out after the spell, while they all help Flint in, who is still a mess after his near drowning and his total fear of water and boats. We get some more backstory of a pair of adventures where Raistlin exposed a charlatan cleric to a town, but the townfolk, instead of going after the cleric, came after Raistlin. Riverwind covers up the entrance. Sturm declares that he'll take the first watch, and Riverwind declares he will. And then the 2 face off with a stern challenge from Sturm, who says Riverwind has insulted his honor. And at this point, Riverwind comes clean, which we get more blunt honesty that we love from Riverwind. He says he doesn't understand Sturm's way and is scared, and has been scared since the staff first showed up. And his biggest fear is for Goldmoon, because without her, he would die. And, that's beautiful. Sturm sympathizes, and he takes the first watch. Tanis notices the Kender has a pile of stuff in front of him, and he's going through it, and Tanis notices that one of the things is Tanis's ring, and kind of casual way, that's a nice slick way to show that they're just so used to the Kender's ways. He just comes up, takes the ring back, and then asks Tasslehoff about can he see some of his maps. They look them over. Sturm, Caramon, and Tanis split the watch for the night as the storm rages all night. Tanis notices that the storm was strange for how it lingered, and they don't usually get storms like that in autumn in that area, and also how it rolled in and how the next one's approaching is all different than what he's used to from that area, which is interesting. Now breakfast is sparse, and Tasslehoff basically trash talks Flint all morning until Flint throws a rock at him. Then there's some more back and forth after Tass cleans the dishes when Sturm finally comes in and lets Tanis know, hey, I can hear these 2 idiots all the way by the shore. We have to get out of here before every goblin in Krynn comes. Sturm asks the question everyone wants to know. Where the heck are we going? At that point, Tanis gets Tasslehoff to take out his map. He says that they have been seeking a sign of the true gods for years, and that the staff may be it. Tika says the High Seekers in Haven were still interested in the truth, and maybe they can tell them about the staff. They debate on the path that they should take, and we get some more slick backstory about how Sturm follows Tanis because he is the one person he truly respects, and with a great line, I thought, that Sturm follows a code as a knight of Solamnia, but Tanis lives it. There's some more debate with Tanis asking Goldmoon, what does the lady want? There's more back and forth with her finally saying that she will follow Tanis for a while. They pack up and head out for what we're led to believe is going to be Qualinesti, the land of the elves. Riverwind tells Tanis that he will trail behind and cover their tracks, of which he is an expert, and that's how we wrap up chapter 6 now. Now for the WTF is that $1.50 word. From these 3 chapters, we get an adverb, fastidiously, in the line that Raistlin packed his bag fastidiously. I had to look that shit up and make sure it meant what I thought it did. I was close, but no cigar. It means in a way that gives too much attention to small details and wants everything to be correct and perfect, which sounds exactly how Raistlin can be at times. If you're still here, please smash that like and battle axe that sub if you haven't already. We will see you real soon with some more monstery goodness and more escapes from our strange reality. Until then, stay frosty and aware, beautiful people. Thank you. Thank you very much.